Hi there, Annalena here. I'm back with another chapter of the Mollimi People from Deep Space, and this is chapter 8. Is there life on other planets? The sparkling rainbow light lands on the plateau outside the cave, and when it disappears, Amitola and Motega come into view. The endless star sea meets them as before, and they remain standing there for a moment in reverent silence. They are filled with inner peace and love. It is the same feeling that follows them as they walk through the cave. They walk slowly, attentively, and in silence. But when they stand outside the cliff wall, they look at each other and smile. Then they run quickly back to the settlement, where they find Ahanu and Aquene outside their home. "Hello, we're back," says Motega. Amitola and Motega inhale and exhale lightly after they run. "How are you? How good it is to see you. What was your journey like?" asks Aquene, looking relieved. At her side, Ahanu smiles good-naturedly. "It's been exciting," Amitola says and smiles with her eyes. Tell, but come, let us sit down first," says Aquene. They sit in the grass outside the small wooden house, and Amitola and Motega eagerly tell the two elderly Mollimis about everything that they have experienced. About Emma and Martin, who they met in the park. About Christian, Rasmus and Frida, who were unpleasant towards them. About the bicycles that they were allowed to borrow. About the bus, which they thought was a wild predator, and about the bus driver Alan, who was so angry. They also tell them about how Christian and Alan were completely changed after they were hit by one of the heart arrows. Ahanu and Aquene listen interested and ask questions about anything that they do not understand. "But what does a bicycle look like?" Ahanu asks, and Motega takes a stick and draws in the soil at their feet. "These are the handlebars, this is the seat, and these are the wheels. You sit on the seat, put your hands on the handlebars, and turn the pedals around." Motega draws and explains, and the two elders follow closely. When Amitola and Motega are finished with their story, Aquene smiles and looks proudly at the two young Mollimis. She says, "Thank you so much for everything that you have told us and for your bravery on your journey to Earth. Do you want to go again?" Motega and Amitola look at each other and nod eagerly. "Yes," says Motega. Amitola adds, "We would really like to." Ahanu answers, "That sounds good. You can decide when you go next." He smiles good-naturedly and looks at them both with a calm gaze. Then they give each other a warm hug before they say goodbye and go home to their parents and siblings to eat together with them. Emma and Martin are standing in the hall at Emma's house. The whole way home they have talked about Amitola and Motega and the day's events. Birgitte comes out of the laundry room with a basket full of clean clothes and smiles when she sees them. Birgitte says, "Hi, it's so nice to see you, Martin. Would you like to eat with us a little later?" Martin looks questioningly at Emma, but she nods, and so he smiles and says, "Yes, thanks, I'd like that." "Fine," answers Birgitte. "We will eat in about an hour." She continues into the bedroom with the laundry basket, and now Victor comes running in from the living room. "Hi," says Victor, and he gives his big sister a warm hug and looks with curious interest at Martin, who smiles back at him. The older boy says, "Hi, Victor. My name is Martin, and I'm in the same class as Emma." Victor replies, "I know that. I have seen you at school." Victor smiles a bit shyly at Martin, but he also looks hopeful. Then he asks Martin, "Do you want to say hi to our dog?" "Yeah, I would really like that," answers Martin, and they go into the living room to Angel, who has a scarf on her head and a teddy bear in her basket. They sit down and pet her. "How sweet she is," praises Martin. "But why does she have a scarf on?" Victor replies, "It's because I'm playing that she's Virgin Mary and the teddy bear is baby Jesus." Emma and Martin laugh heartily at Victor's explanation, but then they look at each other and nod. Emma says, "Hey, Victor, Martin and I are going up into my room. We have some homework that we have to do." Emma looks at her little brother, who nods in understanding. "Okay, then I will just play with Angel," Victor tells them. He takes the teddy bear and hugs it. In the bedroom, Martin and Emma keep talking about the meeting with Motega and Amitola. They try to find a logical explanation for the rainbow light and how the two Mollimis could just disappear right into thin air. They search on the internet but can't find any answers. A bit later, when they are sitting at the kitchen table and eating dinner, Emma asks her mother, "Hey, Mom?" "Yes, honey," her mother answers. Emma continues, "Have you heard of anyone who can conjure up a big light with lots of colors and get people to disappear?" Birgitta looks surprised. Not really. But there are some very clever magicians who can do all kinds of tricks. What's on your mind?" Nothing really." Emma hesitates, then asks, "Do you believe there are people living on other planets?" Now Birgitta looks even more surprised. She asks, "If people exist on other planets, is that something you were talking about in school?" Birgitta looks at Emma and Martin, but they just shake their heads. "Life on other planets?" Birgitta sighs. "No, I have a hard time believing in that, but one never knows." She smiles a little absently and continues eating. Martin looks at Emma, who nods nearly unnoticeably, and she stops asking questions. After dinner, Martin has to go home, and they agree to meet in the park the next day.